And again, we see just in his life how God put these individuals in the right place. For him, it was Joseph and Mary that were protecting Jesus as a child where he was innocent. And I think about Esther and how she was put in this position where she was able to save the people of Israel. And when Haman's going to come and destroy them, and God used the king not being able to sleep that night, and he learned some things in the Chronicles about Mordecai, how he saved him, how he had told him about an assassination attempt. And Haman comes in, and Haman's all ready to kill him, to kill Mordecai, and he's got the gallows all set up. And the king says, hey, how do I honor someone that I really want to honor and stuff? And Haman thinks he's talking about him, and he's like, oh, you put him in your chariot, and you dress him up in the finest robes, and you say, this is how the king honors someone that he really appreciates, and you have people go before him, and he says, okay, do that for Mordecai. And Haman's just like, I got gallows for him. I'm going to hang him. And so here he is leading this chariot with Mordecai in it saying, this is how the king honors someone. It's just like, and he's going, this ain't working the way I wanted it to, man. I had this all worked out. I had this all planned. And then the next thing is he finds out that Esther is also Jewish and doesn't want to die. And she's pleading with the king. The king is like, oh man, I'm going to deal with you, Haman. And Haman's like, and he falls down, and at that time they reclined at the table, so she has kind of like this bed at the table where they're having the feast, and he falls down on the bed and he's like pleading with her, oh, don't do this. And the king comes in and sees Haman on Esther's bed and says, now you're trying to ravish my wife? And he's just like, go take him and hang him from the gallows. Or someone comes to him and says, hey, he made these gallows for Mordecai. He's like, that's the guy that saved my life. Go put him on the gallows. And then they kill him and wipe him out. And God will have in place, and in the time that we're in, he'll have in place people that are able to do something that's important, something that's significant. They may be in places of government. They may be in places of denominations. They may be in business positions. They may be in local areas, wherever they are, but they're in a position where there's going to be a time that comes right now where they're able to do something significant for the kingdom of God. And they'll be in just the right place at just the right time to make it happen. The rest of the government, the rest of this business place, the rest of this society could be totally against what God's going to do, but that one person in the right place will be able to make a stand and be able to do something significant for God. They'll have to make a decision like Esther. Am I going to take the chance? Esther took a chance to go before the king. She could have been put to death going before the king without permission to go before him. And of course, Mordecai told her, he says, hey, maybe you're there for such a time as this, but if you don't do it, God will find another way. God will find another person. And it's a time for us to be ready, and I encourage individuals in their lives to be ready that when God moves, and there's a time that's going to come where you have a chance to make a decision. Are you going to go along with this stuff you know is wrong, or are you going to stand up for God? Are you going to make this choice? Are you going to help what God's doing and go against what the enemy's doing? And I want to encourage people to be ready to make that stand, to be ready to be the person that makes a difference, because there is a lot of places and a lot of times and a lot of opportunities that are coming in this age that we're in where single individuals will be able to be the ones to make the difference.
That's right.
Make the decision now. When God says it's time, when that window of opportunity is there, that I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to stand up for God. And there's no telling what you'll be able to protect. Could you imagine knowing that you protected Jesus, who comes as King of Kings and Lord of Lords? Could you imagine you're the one that protects the people that are going to be a descendant of Jesus? There's no telling what you're going to be able to do and what you're going to be able to protect. And you may not even know at the time what's coming of what you're doing. But God knows, and he'll give you that opportunity. And I just want to encourage people that around the world to be ready for that time, because